There's fish on Tactics.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
There we are.
Fish on Tactics is already in.
Hey, Fisher, nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Good to have you here. Thank you for coming up, Kenny.
Oh, Father Fish, it's always an absolute treat to hang out with you.
Well, thank you. I remember the trip you guys made. You and James and Ed came over to my shop. Golly,
And I remember it too. You put us to work.
the minute you got there,
put a guy that's not a green thumb in charge of planting your plants. That was probably not
really. I just got a big box of plants in, and you three guys showed up and hot dog got me out of a couple hours work, and then we went collecting.
That was a great time, the collecting part.
Yeah, Ed was, I mean, not Ed, James.
He was a fish and water boy.
He was something else. We couldn't get him out. He was in there.
Every time we went, I mean, he was the same way when we were at the Molly place, too. I mean, you couldn't get the guy out of that. Although I'll have to admit, that water felt pretty good. It was nice, toasty, warm water.
Yeah, that was nice, wasn't it? Yeah.
Jimmy P in the house. What's going on, Jimmy?
Hey, Jimmy, how are you? Yes. Good to see you. What do we got? We got 10 in so far. Let's see. Let me get my YouTube channel open here so I can see what we're doing. We got live chat up. God, I can't believe how Naresh is here. Hey, Naresh. Have you met Naresh, Kenny?
I don't think I have. I've seen him around, but I don't think I've been up on stream or anything with him yet.
He's a young man in Sri Lanka.
Oh, nice.
20 years old. I guess he's 20. Just starting to go to college. He did a beautiful intro piece for me back a year ago when I was doing the everyday, the morning show. And it just knocked my socks off. He spent a lot of time and a lot of effort putting it together. So I've been helping him out. He's been doing that work for me. I've been paying him a little bit, and he's been helping me. I figured, here's a kid who could probably use a little money, get some nice clothes, and maybe something special. Well, wouldn't you know, he saved every penny of it and opened a store.
No kidding.
And he's honest to God. He's running a store, school supplies, also does some office management kinds of things. Like he has a Xerox machine and does email and computer stuff and, whatnot. But he's an entrepreneur.
I forgot to share this out for you, Father Fish. I'm sorry. I'm losing it in my old age. So I am sharing it as we speak so I can hopefully get some of my Facebook pipe over here and some of our YouTube people.
Oh, nice. Let's see. Jimmy P's here. Grandwood, Crystal. Hi, Crystal.
Crystal, what you doing, girl? Howard's here.
T-Bone.
Good day, T-Bone.
Scott Stankovich. Howard Van Tassel. Good to see Howard back. He's been kind of out of pocket for a while. Nice. Then we're getting a little crew here. So the theme of the day is NOAA, talking about the NOAA project. And the position that I'm taking is that we are all NOAAs because we are all doing what we can to protect and keep and sustain little animals, tiny species that many of which would otherwise be completely lost. And there are, in fact, any number of species of insects, fish, reptiles, amphibians, and the like that would not exist if it were not for hobbyists loving them, keeping them, cherishing them, and taking care of them. And here's a guy who's been doing it for years, has made an enormously impressive commitment to keeping fish and doing stuff that other people may keep one or two of, but he's got lots of. That is, he's got big fish, a lot of the bigger fish. Most people don't do big fish. It takes
Oh man,
big
I tell you,
tanks.
Father Fish, I don't think I could have a fish room without something. There's got to be some kind of aggressive cichlid involved, or I don't think I would sit right. But
That's
the reason I've kind of they remind me personality wise what I was like as a youngster. They
there you go.
little bit of chip on the shoulder.
There you go. I tell you, when I had my shop, all the young bucks wanted the mean fish.
Oh yeah.
All of them. And that's when barracuda were one of the favorites, of course, red tail cats.
Oh my God, that one you had when I was there that summer, that thing was a behemoth.
He was amazing, wasn't he? Yeah, he grew another 6 inches. He was just about 3 foot.
I couldn't get over the girth in the head. He had just great big girth this way.
And it's all bone. I butchered one years before that. We did that and what was it? Oh God, what's the big brown pacu? We did a pacu and a red-tailed cat and something else. I don't remember what. Butchered them and had the local Thai restaurant cook them for our fish club meeting.
Oh, no kidding.
For a dinner, and it was fabulous. But that red-tailed cat, 2/3 of it was bone. That head is solid bone, and it comes halfway down the body. The only meat there is in the tail. Solid as a rock.
Jimmy says Kenny's got the scars to prove it.
Yeah, really.
I have been bitten a few times. Well, look at it. Ian's ears must have been ringing there, Father Fish. There he is right now. Atkins Nature Aquariums is in the house.
Sure enough. Hey, Ian, nice to see you. I'm just bragging on you. And it turns out you're a good friend. You guys are active in the local club, Skull Aquatics. Hey, Skull. Nice to see you. So when did you start keeping fish, Kenny?
I was exposed to them originally probably when I was 7 years old. I had a big, gigantic bowl, and I went to the local stream, and I caught a little bitty bullhead and a little bitty bluegill and a couple of minnows of sorts, like dace minnows, and threw them in there, and they lasted for about 18 hours.
Right.
Obviously, just a aerated stone in there wasn't quite going to give them what they needed. But then from there, during growing up as a kid, I'd have different miscellaneous little tanks and back then it was kind of like cold water aquatics. It was all natural fish I'd caught on, perch, bluegills, crappies, that type of thing. And then when I went into the Marines, that's when my hobby really went crazy.
Really?
Danny and I got stationed in Hawaii, and basically we just went from there. We started breeding all different types. We had a line of rosy barbs with long fin, beautiful bright red rosy barbs, and then we had gouramis and Oscars and all kinds of stuff we bred over there. Albino Cory cats when they were still a thing. Everybody had to have them.
Yeah,
But it was a little bit of a stress when we, after being there for 3 years, you can imagine the breeding, how much buildup you have. And I mean, it was a mad rush at the end there, trying to get everything sold before I had to get orders out of there. Wow. And I ended up selling all those tanks to a couple of people around that because I didn't just couldn't fathom going all the way back to Chicago with them.
Right.
So then when we got back into Chicago, we got settled in, and once we did, we started really getting into it again. That time it was majority African cichlids.
Were you still in the Marines then?
No, then I was out and found the automotive business, so it gave me a pretty good line of income to really get addicted again. But we still, compared to what we are today, I mean, we were still pretty. I call it. I think we had 30 tanks. That was about right back then because we had 4 kids we were taking care of, and
Wow.
and then once the kids started leaving the nest, that's when we lost all control. I mean, he says me, guys. I mean, my wife is equally, if not more so, addicted to the hobby than I am. But the thing that's unique about us is I'm into the cichlids. I'm into all that kind of thing. And she's into the heavily planted father fish style, nice, big, thick dirt and all that good stuff. And
Nice.
so a lot of what she keeps is your, nanotype species, and the angelfish. She likes a lot of the angelfish. And we have probably 30 lines of Tetra, maybe more. I lost count. I really don't keep track anymore, but we keep about 80 tanks now, and we're supposed to be downsizing, and in the process of downsizing, we gained 8 more tanks. I'm like, well, that's not what I had envisioned, Danielle.
It downside. Did you decrease volume or just the quantity?
Well, my goal was to
decrease volume.
Less tanks, increase volume. I wanted to have like no less than 55 gallon in the house, and
more big tanks.
All big tanks is what I wanted. Big tanks for me are a lot easier to maintain. Oh, look at here. Right now we got a little spiring going on with my Paratilapia Marilambo and the Oscar.
Well, let's take a look at it.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys will. I could show you guys later once we get it. Marilambo's over in that far corner. He already tagged up.
Yeah. And
that gives you just an idea. This is just the main living room where I'm at, and I mean it's full of stuff.
And you just got a wolf fish.
Oh, I'm excited about him.
One of the real denizens of the Amazon.
That is a bucket list fish that I've been wanting for quite some time, and to finally get one, and to think I got it for $1. Amazing. I was the first one to bid on it and the only one to bid on it. Got him for $1. Well, that's one advantage when you keep the species I keep is at most auctions there isn't a.
That's true.
There's not a big line. I mean, if I would have had another couple of tanks, I could have picked up. They were the 6-stripe Frentosa, not the Barramundas, but the other one. I always forget the scientific name. Anyway, this guy bought 5 of them, I think it was, 2 males and 3 female, already instant breeding colony.
Wow.
And he got the darn thing for $10.
Oh my
I was like,
God.
oh my God. I should have bought it. I could have wholesaled them for what I could have got them for that.
Yeah, really.
But I didn't want to do that. The guy was really stoked and he'd never had Frentosa. So I'm like, you know what? I can't steal a guy's dream. Let him have them.
Yeah. I've had a lot of them. I saw somebody had a tag the other day with some of the oddball patterns.
Oh, yeah. The widow, they're called them.
The widows, right.
Yeah, the widow, black widow,
Yeah.
I think they call them.
Right.
Those are cool. I dig those stripes.
Yeah, I had some of those in my shop for a while. Never had a big one. I had a lot of big ones, though. We've got a couple of guys in our club who do Frontosa. One of them's been doing them for years and years.
Other than Steve Lonebad, there's not a great deal of African breeders in our club. We have a couple of spin-offs from Steve, like Ryan Mackey does a few lines of Africans, but to the most part, Africans are not a real hot commodity in our club.
What about Tanganyikas?
Some of the Shelly species. I mean, there's a lot of the. Mm-hmm. I've got Catapatatus, I've got Similis, I've got Multis, and then a couple of the other little transcripts and a couple other cool little
the Julies.
Yeah, Judeochromis.
Yeah, I like the Julies. I've always liked them.
We're going to get back. I want to get some more African tanks back. I kind of went away from them. I go through phases. I've been in this South American phase of late, and
South America or Central America?
I do
You're
both.
doing South America mostly.
I've got South and Central America, and then I'm really into Madagascar and Cichlids as well.
Now I got some of the other Madagascars, not the bleaker eye. There's another one that came in a few times. They never did well. I don't know if anybody was able to actually keep them. I got some in.
Are they those real mean ones?
Yeah.
I know which ones you're talking
and
about.
And they did not hold up.
Brilliant yellow color on the side. And
yeah.
Those, I forget the name of them, but they are, I have never heard of anybody being able to keep them in a community atmosphere. They usually have to be
I got them from an importer.
Only.
We have a pretty good importer here for Africans. What's it called? It's called Old World. Old World Importers. They're down in Homestead, Florida. It's two old guys in their 70s. I think one of them may have turned 80. They've been doing fish for 40, 50 years. And they do import and they also breed. But that's the best source of real oddballs.
How you doing there, Kevin? Good to see you. Kevin Roseberg came in.
Hey,
Rosenberg.
Kevin. Who else is here?
Got T-Bone. We already said hello to him. Roman has
Chirac. Hey, Roman.
James Green.
Nice. Let's see. ABC is going to be with us on Monday night. So we're looking for somebody next Wednesday. We need to get somebody signed up for next Wednesday. And then the following week, I have a fellow who has a fish farm here in Florida and also a wholesale operation and a retail shop. So he's got a vertical kind of system going.
Well, I think you're going to, if I was a bet man, I think Lucas is going to be there before it's over.
Yeah, he's trying to get, I sent him a message the other day, tell him I got some tags.
Oh, you muted yourself again, Father Fish. There you go.
A bunch of tanks I'm trying to. Lucas is on the other side of the state from me.
Yeah, he says he's about 3 hours from you.
Yeah, he's over near north of Miami.
He's so funny. He knows that it wouldn't take much to get me to move out of this state I'm in. I won't go into the reasons, but he's like he sent me a bunch of real estate listings. He's like, yeah, buddy, come down here. We can get something going together. I'm like, Lucas, I can't move that quick, buddy. I'm not. Danny's probably got another 8 years left at the old Intel, and once that happens, then maybe. But right now, I just don't have it. I would love to. I mean, I love seeing the fish when he talks fish. He's like a little kid on Christmas Day.
I know. It'll be fun watching him put together that barn too. That's a great facility.
I think I'm more excited about the ponds he has on the property. I mean,
really?
that part, but yes, he's got one that's got to be a 8 to 10 acre pond.
Yeah, that's apparently, is that the one that where the height varies in it?
Yes, he's got one. I think he says it's 10 to 15 feet in the middle, and
it becomes 2 or 3 ponds, and then it fills up to one. Yeah, he's got 2 big ponds. What he's got, like 20, 30 acres. Somebody said 30 acres.
30 acres.
Wow. So he's what's he, like 20, 30 miles west of the coast?
I think he's further. He's right dead squack in the middle of the state.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So he's okay.
He says he's literally, from where he's at, he's an hour and a half to either coast. Hour and a half, 2 hours.
So he's at Okeechobee.
Pretty close, I'm guessing.
Gotta be. Ha! That's closer than I thought. Middle of the state. That's interesting.
Well,
Yeah,
he's
he was.
upper, but what I'm saying, he's in. I think he's in the Panhandle area, but he's right squack in the middle, so he's basically equally distanced between the two oceans.
Well, I'm totally confused. I thought he was down further south near Okeechobee,
He
which
might
is
be. I don't know the state well enough myself to speak on it.
because the
But
Panhandle's pretty. I thought he was
well, here,
looking.
you know what? He sent me a. I can do this. I can look this
He
up
was
in my.
looking in Fort Myers area,
I think that's where he ended up, but he's in a little town outside Fort Myers.
but it's like an hour to an hour and a half east of Fort Myers. It's not that close to Fort Myers. It's closer, I think, to the East Coast. I don't know. I haven't been able to find it on a map yet. He's still being a little secretive, I think.
Oh, I think he's trying to get everything signed up. Old Town, it's called.
Old Town. I'll look it up. Got a pen somewhere.
What's going on, Chris Trapp? Good to see you. I'm a Norwegian by blood, and also I am a Vikings fan, yes. Uh-oh, Father Fish, you hit the mute again, brother. He likes that mute button today, I think.
It's
There
a
you go.
wire. My
Uh-oh. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
oh,
There you go. You're back.
honest to God.
I can hear you.
You too many buttons and whistles. Ah.
So what you been up to, Father Fish? What cool stuff you got going on?
Well, I've been working on my 40-gallon tank. I decided that I wanted to turn it into a really very vigorous food web and duplicate a creek bed or a pond bed in Peru or in Brazil in South America with a really deep leaf litter. So I did that the other day, put a lot of leaves in, started to clear up, and then I decided to put biochar in. Big mistake. It is now black.
Oof. Yeah.
Jet black. The particulate matter, you can see about half-inch into it. If you look at but that's better than it was. So, I thought I don't know if the fish are alive in it or not. Hopefully they're okay. I have lost fish from having I put some very fine sand in a tank once, just dumped the bag in, and it killed some of the fish because the particulate matter was so tiny it got caught in their gills.
Oh.
And it drowned them. So I don't know if that's going to happen here. It's a distinct possibility. So I've got a choice. I can drain it and refill it, or I can let it sit. And I've decided to let it sit because I've taken the position that if a tank goes bad, what you need to do with it is get whatever made it go bad out. Like if you got a can full of food in, get as much of that as you can out. Do a partial water change if you insist, and then leave it alone because it will clear up. My experience is any tank will clear up in about a week.
There's Sunset Jen.
Hey, Sunset. So we'll see if it clears up. This is day 2.
Ian's telling me my festivum's doing good at his house.
Oh,
I
nice.
I sent him home with it. It thing killed 2 of my discus. I'm like, you're out of here.
Oh, my word. I got a pair of them and I've sent them down to Andy. He's got them it's a breeding pair of festivums. Male's bigger than the female. Male's about 6 inches, female about 4. He's
That was the
above
first.
Kissimmee. Okay. Above
That's probably the
Kissimmee.
first and only time I'll ever keep them. I don't got it out of my system. Never again.
Yeah, you know what's a really nice fish is the chocolate cichlid. Do you have those?
I don't. I keep something similar. I keep the rainbow cichlids.
Yeah, they're not. I've had those. The chocolate's very different, though. The patterning is different. And I think the behavior is too. I had a lot of rainbows. Somebody brought some in and I spawned them at the shop. I think I've got them spread out now. I don't think I have any here. Nice fish. The chocolate's really fun. Go to get some. You'll like them. They're
Yeah,
very peaceful.
We've got I think 3 different lines of rainbows here right now.
What kind?
Rainbow
Rainbow
fish.
cichlids, you mean?
No, just a
Oh,
rainbow.
rainbows. Yeah.
Cichlids, I just have just the 1 line of rainbow cichlid.
Okay. So what kind of rainbows do you have?
The bright yellow ones.
The blurry,
I forget the name, but they're bright yellow.
whole solid yellow.
Well, they've got some stripes in them too, but they're
Okay, right.
yellowish
The
color.
blurry. Yeah, right. The millennium is the one that's bright red. That's a pretty one. Yeah, rainbows are amazing. I saw a tank somebody had online. They must have had 100 rainbows full grown in a 50-gallon tank. Might have
Wow.
been a bigger tank. It was solid with rainbows, and the colors were incredibly vibrant, which you never see all the rainbows colorful that way. I guess it was all males. I mean, it had to have been, but it was
because
amazing.
it wasn't. Most of the rainbow breeders, boy, they frown on you if you mix them like that.
I know they were all colored up, every one of them. Normally, they won't all color up like that. You'll have a dominant, even if it's mixed species. Yeah, it was very strange. Never saw anything like that.
What I found with mine is they really seem to do most of their coloring up first daylight. I mean, they are flaring all these amazing colors.
That's when they spawn.
Alex got a beautiful batch when we were up at the Seattle auction the other night. I should have grabbed some of those too, but they're the ones that are kind of silverish blue on the side. Then when you get about halfway, it's bright red tails. They're a type of cold water, I believe, or.
Oh, okay. Huh. There's so many rainbows. I've been doing the little rainbows.
Cinema gills and.
Yeah, but they're really not rainbows. They list them with rainbows, but it's not. Yeah, I've got cinema gills. I got a couple of furcatas. I've got some furcatas.
Kevin, those are doing quite well for me. Yes, I still have the exodons, and they're doing very well. Haven't lost a single one.
Nice. Verily, verily, Father Fish, you told me to turn my undergravel filter back on, but I can't remember what you said to do with flow tubes. All right, let's go over it again. What I said to do is pull the flow. If you've had it running for a year, pull the flow tubes out and put 2 inches of sand on top of the gravel. And you will have a deep substrate under gravel with a rich substrate environment that will provide nutrition for plant growth. It will be as if you had a dirted deep substrate because you've got all that mulm that's been building up in there. So don't try to take the tray out. Just leave it in there. It'll be fine. Take the tubes out, turn the pump off, and put 2 inches of sand on top of the gravel. That'll cap it and hold it down. It'll work brilliantly. It'll be perfect. So you really can do a gravel tank.
I actually, we have one in this house.
Do you?
Yep. Well, we had to come up with something custom because the crayfish that we have they would literally eat the sponge filters. They ate them
Yeah.
down to the plastic.
So
I'm like,
you,
what?
you did. So you did
We
an
did it
under
under gravel,
gravel.
and then we use
Yeah.
just the cotton, whatever. We stick that
Yeah.
in the tubes, and we're good to go. And
Huh. Yeah. Crayfish or something else again. I pulled 3 crayfish out of my tanks in the last week. Little ones that I did not realize I had. I've been out catching wild, um, like the Elisoma, the pygmy sunfish,
mm-hmm.
and there are always crayfish in there when I catch them. But they're normally like, an inch long or so. I see them and I don't bring them in. But apparently some came in as really tiny fry and grew up. I've had crabs do that in saltwater tanks,
Oh yeah.
and just if you got a lot of rocks, you wind up with a decimated tank. I had this situation happen here. One of my saltwater tanks. See if I can show you. That's got air on this side. I've lost all of the macroalgae. This is macroalgae. This tank's loaded with it. This one was, and I have a starfish and a sea urchin in here. And they have eaten all of the macroalgae. So they're going to have to go. So I get the plants back. Just really, it took a while, but they totally cleaned it out.
So they're basically the autos of the saltwaters, huh?
Yeah, and the problem is I got so many fish that really depend on that macroalgae. I'm having trouble keeping fish alive in it. I've got a mandarin goby in there that's been in there for almost a year. And that's about it. I've had a lot of other stuff in there.
Chris, Chris Taft's asking, what tips do I have for managing so many tanks? The first thing I would say to you is it's your house and your fish room. You need to know right up front how many you're going to be able to where the fish has quality of life. Like Danny and I are on strict daily routines. I mean, it's almost like second nature. I mean, every day there is something being water flipped or cleaned here of some sort, whether it be filter, whatever. A lot of times I'll do that a few days before water changes. If I've got a canister filter that I know has been a little bit, I don't like to do canister filtration cleaning and water change the same day.
Same
I like,
time, right?
because I don't want any of my bacteria going wacko. So I generally like to get in and do those first. So I'll do those a couple of days. I spend the day doing nothing but all my filters in the house, cleaning them. And then the next day or two, I'll start flipping water. But it's just a mindset. You wake up every morning, you know that, hey, because if you don't do what you're supposed to do, these lives depend on you. And that's how I look at
That's
things.
right. How much
And
time
we're
do
not
you
perfect.
spend?
Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not like we're, every 7 days, all the water. In a perfect world, it would be great if that works that way. But we have, working lives and whatnot. But we do stay on top of them where we keep them pretty well maintained.
How much time do you spend working on your tanks?
Oh, gosh.
Like in a week?
I'd say it averages out to probably 5 to 6 hours a day.
Wow. Each or both of you?
That's both of us combined effort.
That's a lot. 2.5.
But I mean, there's always
each,
something to do, whether you got fish in a bread, you got to move fry. I mean, there's always something when you got a fish room this size. There's something always happening. Or you decide to have 2 South American cichlids to decide they want to breed in the middle of your community tank, which isn't good. So you have to yank them out before they do,
So that's the better part of every evening.
Yeah. Every evening I'm doing something.
Right. That's an enormous commitment. It really is.
But it's so rewarding.
Commitment.
I mean, when the end of the night comes and you're tired and you just want to chill, you go pick out one of the 80 something tanks and, just vegetate for a good
Park
hour on it.
yourself in front of it. Yeah.
And I can honestly say every tank in this house at some point throughout the week or month, that I will spend an hour at least in front of each tank, minimum.
Huh.
And that's the thing. There's not a single tank in here. That might be why we can't downsize, because you start thinking, oh, I don't want to live without that. I love that
Yeah.
fish. Or,
Right.
you
Right.
know. So I can see where like a Lucas situation where he's at 300. I see why now, because you get a collection, new fish comes in, and you're like, well, I don't want to get rid of anything. And then another tank goes up, that fish is
Right.
in there, and
Right. Right.
before you know it, you got. I think we're up to like 170 something species in the home now. So,
Huh.
and none of them are expendable. I'd want to keep them all, but we have a hard enough time when people want to buy some of our fish, and we're just my wife's is as big a hoarder as I am. We just won't off them. We just want to keep them. But
Yeah. Kevin's saying, loving a 3-gallon resurrection tank. So cool to see the creatures. Gonna get more sand and mulch to add to my other tanks for sure. Yeah. Now,
I love summertime. Just get some water in a couple of these ponds, and I generally, guys, don't put fish in them. I literally just have them out there for the natural critters I know are going to flock to them. And you want to talk about amazing food for your fish. Oh, man. All those natural little
oh
critters.
yeah, you bet. You bet. T-Bone, it's enough. I ever had a tank explode on me. I built a tank once years ago, back like 1968. I built it out of a refrigerator liner. Now, back in those days, that when they made refrigerators, they had a liner inside a box. And you pull the liner out of the box and cut the side of it out and glued some glass in it. And that was the tank. Well, I did that. It was about 4 foot by 2.5 foot by 2 foot. So what's it? 8, 16, 80, 100 gallons. Just about 100 gallons. I had 1/4 inch plate, big piece of plate glass. And it was sitting on a porch. And the phone rang, and I got up. I was sitting in front of it, watching the fish. Had Africans in it. Phone rang, got up to go answer the phone. That's when the phones were hanging on the wall back in the 60s.
Oh, man.
That's what saved my life. I got up to go look and heard a boom.
Ooh.
And I walked back in. The tank had exploded. The glass had exploded. And there were big shards of glass stuck in the opposite wall.
Oh, wow. Just be glad you weren't standing there where it happened, huh?
I was right in front of it 10 seconds before that happened.
I saw something on YouTube that was probably about a week or two ago. It showed that couple sitting on their couch and I think they said it was almost a 200-gallon and exploded.
I saw that, yeah.
Oh, but what cracked me up about those people is they, not either one of them went to save the fish. They all just jetted and they just kind of left everything laying. I would have probably been.
Oh, honestly.
I would have been trying to gather the fish and figure out a way to
Wow.
save them at least. But
Really? Incredible. Let's see. Try to breed my hill girl today, Craig says. Across this blue and white betta we have. Well, that shouldn't be too hard. That's fun to do. Oh, let's see. Scott wants to know how many tanks and what your total gallonage is.
oh my God,
You
Scott,
got a
I don't
number?
think I could. I know we're over 80, and gosh, to sit and go through every one of them, I couldn't tell you the gal. I know we have at least 8 to 9, 100-gallon and beyond. Probably more like 11 or 12 now that I think, because these are 100-gallon in here too.
So
I
there's
bet
a
you we're
ton.
pushing 20,000 gallons at least, close
Oh, come
to.
on. You serious?
Got to be close.
Wow, that's a lot of water. That's as big as a swimming pool.
Yeah, we've got a lot of. Well, I've got a 240. I've got
Huh.
a bunch of 125, maybe 20,000 could be. Now you guys are going to make me go and count it all for you,
Have
and
to
I'll
figure
have
it
the
out.
answer for you. If I've never, because I don't want to know, because I know that costs me money every month in water.
Yeah,
So
really.
people have asked me that before, and I just never have
You
taken
gotta
the time to
you
really
need to
get it
drill
down.
a well. Let's see. Teresa said he got two free snails in his tanks he got from Father Fish. He got snails, little ones.
This pond snails, or
2 to 1 mil. No, there would not have been pond snails. Only thing they could have been is cone snails.
oh, you talking about the?
They might have been. No, there wouldn't be neurites.
You
I
keep
did.
trumpets in your tanks,
Yeah, I've got trumpets in some of my tanks. Could be trumpets, or they
which those
could
are a
be.
good thing.
Yeah, they're good, or they could be mysteries. I did have some mysteries spawn. Um, Unfortunately, I had an apple spawn, but I haven't seen any babies. I thought I got them out. So chances are it's fine, but if they get big and start munching your plants, you want to get them out of there. Uh, Tell me a little more about them if you can tell. They're probably too tiny to see what kind of shape they are, but that would help to know what they are. They're, they're either, I don't think I've had nearite spawn. It's possible because I've had some brackish conditions. That would be okay. Mysteries would be okay. And the cone snails, they would be okay. So whatever it is, it's not pond snails. I don't have pond snails. And I don't believe it'll be an apple. I
Now,
had a
have you
couple of,
in your time have you ever heard of those trumpet snails ever breaking seals on tanks?
no.
Yeah, somebody was trying to tell me that you keep too many of them. That's what I'm like, buddy. I don't buy it. There's no way.
Yeah, that's an old wives' tale. There are a lot of people say things that they heard somebody else say that have no basis in fact. They're myths. There are
Yeah.
a lot of myths in the hobby.
Well, I'm willing to risk it because of the good they do for your substrate. I mean, I would love to have every tank with them.
Absolutely. People who say that they're upset because their tank is full of them and they're all over the sides of the glass. What they don't understand is that the reason that's happening
Is
is
they're
they are
feeding.
substantially overfeeding, and those snails are keeping the tank from crashing and fouling.
Yeah, if the snails weren't there, they would have already had that issue.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So count your blessings and be thankful to the snails and quit putting so much food in the tank. What do you feed, Kenny?
We do a variety of things. Good portion usually is flake because I like the vegetable diet in there. Keep their innards feeling good.
What
Um,
brand?
I do a lot of the tropical granules, and then we use the krill flake. I think it's omega that she uses, and then we have regular flake that's got spirulina powder and whatnot in it. It's good stuff. Bloodworms to some of the species, and then brine shrimp is a big diet. Then this time of year, I start feeding a lot of the natural diet. There'll be mosquito larvae, uh,
From your outdoor
scuds, and
ponds.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
much. And then the bigger cichlids, a lot of their diet is I've been using a lot of shrimp of late because they need quite a bit of
We
substance
do
to fill them up.
frozen,
Yeah,
frozen or
frozen shrimp. Unless I'm happen to get it home that same day, then they get fresh cut as soon as I get back from
so.
the market.
Yeah. Okay. So you use food shrimp.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
It's a
the
lot
thing people
cheaper.
don't understand is, I mean, you go to the pet store and you buy the krill pack, you're going to get, what does it come out to? About 2 pounds, maybe three.
For
And
20 bucks
it's going to
plus.
cost you $20. You know how much big chunky shrimp you can get at a fish market. I
for
mean,
20
for the
bucks.
same
And
20
fish,
bucks, it will last me a month.
yeah, and fish and scallops and, you know, whatever.
Yeah. I haven't tried the scallops, but I do know, especially the big, the Decorus and the uh, giraffe cats and those guys, they love the shrimp. They can't
Oh,
get
yeah.
enough of it. But the thing is, I will tell you, if you're feeding the shrimp, is you got to be on that tank. You need to be watching and make sure that you're looking for what was ate and what's, because a shrimp will destroy your tank
Oh,
very,
yeah.
very
It,
quickly.
it'll foul in an hour.
I generally put 5 to 10 pieces in at a time, then run around and watch, and you just got to make sure to get ate up. If you
Right.
got catfish in there, that's not ever going to be an issue. I mean, the catfish is going to suck absolutely everything up, but still good practice to make sure when you're feeding them to keep an eye on things, make sure that they're eating everything that they're supposed to.
Yeah. The other issue about overfeeding is it's not simply a matter of food not being eaten. It's also a matter of feeding fish so much that they do eat that they're producing more
Wait,
waste than your tank can handle.
then
So,
taking care of the fish waste on a very now that I don't consider a water check. I do that quite a bit here, especially on my cichlid tanks. I go through about every 3 day. I can't stand it because I got the white sand, seeing the 8-inch pleco turd on there. I mean, I got to get it. It just drives me nuts seeing it even.
huh.
But so I do go through and do little gravel backs, where I get all that muck up every 3, 4, 5 days in the cichlid tanks.
Yeah, and I recommend not doing that. But when I recommend not doing that, I'm not talking about big fish in big tanks. I'm talking about little fish in little tanks
With plants,
with plants
right?
and a deep substrate. That's right.
that's the one thing, Father Fish. If you look at those two big cichlid tanks there, that is
And a
one thing
plant
they
and a
are lacking. They're
right and a
I've
plant
tried
and a
I have tried numerous. I mean, that's why if you recall, I was just memorized by your store because you had so many of the big bruising cichlids in with gorgeous, amazing
with
plants. I'm like,
plants. Yeah.
I can never get mine to let them. I mean, every day it's a battle. I'll come in and they've stripped it clean, like of
You
every
gotta
grain.
you gotta overwhelm them with plants, and then what they'll do is they'll pick on one, and they'll chew that one down to the nub.
Well, the left tank doesn't stand a chance because there's two heroes lipifers and they love plants.
Yeah,
They
there's some.
they are plant munching
Now
little
I've been
cichlids.
able to get. I've got plants in this tank with Uwaru, and that's a plant eater. I've got them in here too. Got some bigger ones. Where are they? They're hiding.
That's another
There's
fish I want to keep.
the Waru.
Yeah, I
I
think they're
love them.
really, really
Yeah.
cool.
Now why are they hanging at the top? I got these three Waru from a guy. I'd sold them to 2 years ago, and I just don't think they're right. They
They look
just
like
don't
they are
act right.
breathing heavy there.
They are, and they've been doing that from the beginning, and there's no particular reason for it. I've got some in here that were imports from the Far East, and they're doing fine. I've got 8 of them mixed in with the discus. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely. I want some of those in my fish room down the road.
We got some of the pandas in, which is the one that's black and white patterning. And they have not done well. We kept them all right, but they get big enough that they kill each other off. We had 8 of them. Chris had them. The biologist who's active in our club. He does a lot of L series plecos, but he got 8 of them in. He grew them out, got them up to like 6 inches or more, and I think he's down to 2 now. He had 6 or 8. never spawned, and he has spawned Wairu. I have too. They're not hard. They're really not hard to breed. They're
They're an
just
amazing little fish, though. I
they
love
are
those fish.
yeah, they're stunning fish. They gotta be warm. They're like a discus. You gotta keep them warm. They do not like cold water.
Kenneth,
Nothing below 80.
Kenneth D came in. Mermaid's Chorus came in.
Oh, look at that. Elbor Millie. Hello, hello. I just took a ram's horn out of the tank, crushed it, and threw it back in. Well, that'd be good. Somebody will like it. Crushed snail. We're talking crushed snails. Talking turkey baster as an aquarium tool. You bet. Guppies got tired of frake and really want brine or crushed snail. Yeah, they're a meat eater.
I know my Fahaka likes them.
Oh, I guess. So, show me. Can you show us your mud skipper?
I can do that. Take me a second to get wired in here, but
I want to see your mud skipper.
let me get
I've been threatening myself to get some, but I gotta get set up for them, and I haven't decided.
Well, I tell you, of late I've ran into an issue with them. There's one that's gotten rather dominant, and he took out a couple of his tank baits now.
Ha! I was worried about that. The males are pretty aggressive.
Yo. Okay. All right. I'll come back up here in a second from my phone.
Okay, great. So, guys, we're looking for somebody to come up Monday night. No, we have Monday. ABC's going to be up Monday night. Next Wednesday is open, and then the following week is set. We have a Florida farmer who's going to be up the following Monday, and then we have a zoo owner who'll be up on Wednesday. That's the Catoctin Mountain Zoological Park in Camp David, near Camp David in the Catoctin Mountains in Maryland. We'll be up next Wednesday, and that's going to be at 9:00 in the morning. So I'll get an announcement up for that and a link because that'll be real fun. That'll be really interesting, and he'll be talking about friends of his who have very substantial collections of animals, kind of all across the nation. The farmer also owns a shop and also sells online and sells at wholesale to other shops. So he's a young man who's very ambitious and is doing some exciting stuff. So that'll be Monday a week, the 9th. Here's Kenny. Oh, look at this.
So, Father Fish, that's the big brute right there.
How big is he?
Well, you know how big my hands are.
Oh, wow. He's like 4 inches at least.
Oh, he's closer to 6'7", I would say.
Oh, is he really? Wow.
Yeah, that's a big piece of shell he's on.
Huh. Is that a male?
I think all I have left are males. Then the other ones, I don't know if you see him. He's way over there now.
You said you've lost some from aggression.
Mm-hmm. I found one of them. Literally, his eyeballs were ate, and they were like gnawed his head off. Almost.
Wow! Holy cow!
So, but I was flirting with disaster for a while. I mean, I had 5 of them in this one pen call.
Were there any females in there?
I did have one female, and I don't know what. She might still be in here and just good at hiding, but I think I'm down to. Oh, there she is. There is one back. Wait, see her tail there?
Yeah. Did they burrow?
They do. See what they've done here?
Oh, yeah. Huh.
They made themselves a little
A run.
landing pad here.
Yeah.
But I can change that, and I take all the sand that they've taken out of here, and I put it all back up here, and it's like a weekly event. That much burrowing is done in less than a week.
Huh. What are you
They just
feeding
love
them?
the dig. These guys eat just about anything a normal fish will eat. They'll eat almost any of the pellets. They love fresh crickets, live crickets.
Huh.
They like bloodworms. They like brine.
So they're
And-
really not a filter feeder. They're not eating algae and microscopic stuff.
No, these guys are an apex predator. As a matter of fact, you see how he's got those two big lumps right there?
On it, yeah.
They're like chipmunks. They will
Really?
hoard up as much of the food as they can, and they store them in their
Like their
little
mouths
cheeks, like a
and
chipmunk
their
would do.
pouches. Isn't that funny? Now, are they African?
These are Africans, yes.
And the other ones are what? Philippines or Indonesia?
Well, they're just about on every continent except for North America. I mean, they're in Australia, they're in India, they're everywhere. Now, the Indian versions are quite a bit smaller. Those are the ones, if you want to keep something smaller, they're going to get a max size of about 3.5, 4 inches.
Okay.
Now, the ones in Australia, I think, get up to 15 inches long. I wouldn't mind strapping one of those bad boys on at one
Wow.
point.
Huh.
Then down below here, these are kind of special to us, too. This is our king tiger colony. And as you guys can see,
Oh my.
that young man there is on a clutch.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, I see him.
So
Look
he's
at that. Huh.
and he's chased all the other. No, usually there's some in every one of these, but they're all hiding in these rocks now. So I'm hoping that's what it is,
Yeah. Cool.
because he won't come out.
Huh.
And then obviously everybody that's been following my channel knows this tank.
Oh dear. Yeah.
That is our discus.
They are wonderful.
This is my favorite of the bunch.
Pigeon blood. Stunning fish.
Then the leopard snake skins.
Oh my word, isn't he pretty?
And that's just your. Yeah, like I was sharing with you before, is I'm learning the mistake of quarantine, guys, and I'll have you help learn from my vicious mistake. But I brought 2 discus in that had something that is called paperhead, and I've been fighting it now ever since. I've lost now a total of 6 of them.
How long has this been going on?
A month now, over a month.
Is that right?
But as you can see, this is the one I was telling you about.
It's pretty
Father Fish.
violent. Oh yeah.
You see what it's done to him?
Yep. I do.
And that's Tony the Tiger. He's been with me for a very long time.
Wow.
And
yeah, he's
like I
looking
said,
pretty unhappy too.
yeah, it's a gnarly disease. It doesn't seem to affect anything but the discus in here, but but it's nastiness. What else do I got down here you guys might like? These are our catapatatas.
Oh, how nice.
I call them.
Look at that.
They're the punks, I call them. I got one little bitty colony from Shanna with 503 Aquatics, and then another gentleman in the club had it, and then now I've got a nice colony. They're all actively
Look at
breeding.
the
I think I've got 3 or 4 generations in here now.
Nice. Yeah. Wow. Very cool.
And then this one we've got the Stimulus in. They're a cool little shell dweller as well. And we started this colony with 3 or 4, and they're starting to finally, whoa, settle down there. My fish still freak out when I come in sometimes.
Yeah. Nice.
Then down here, these are kind of cool too. These are cold water species of a. This is a gymnogeophagus.
Right.
But
With
these guys are super
with
shy fish.
buffalo head. Look at that head on that male. Pretty cool.
They get pretty extravagant colors.
Have they spawned yet?
They have not.
They're
We
not
haven't really.
quite big enough.
We haven't really concentrated on trying. Now, one thing I was going to say too, Father Fish, with the mud skippers. Look at this man, the red mangrove man. How crazy it's gotten in this thing.
Well, yeah.
What
I've
I
got
did
a
was,
bunch
is
of
I
mangroves. Yeah, I have a bunch of mangroves that are trying to grow out, and that's what I need to do with them.
I'm going to cut. I think I'm going to cut the tops off of them,
Yeah.
and I think if I take the tops, put them in water, some of this salt water, I can get some more roots. But
You might.
I think that's what I'm going to have to do because I'm out of options now. I mean, I almost don't have any ceiling left, so I didn't expect these things to get 12 feet tall, but it seems like they're going to.
They do that, don't they?
Well, this has just been going crazy. I mean, I almost wish I could get if it wasn't salt water in here, I'd love to get like some sort of lizard that would love to live up in here.
Yeah, exactly.
But I can't do it with these guys because they will most likely prey on them. Oh, here's what I was going to share with you, Father Fish, on the subject. In this cake, we got a little bit of everything. We've got these guys, which are the
Xenos. Dedrini.
These are the Mexican live bears that are on the CARES list.
Nice.
And then the unique thing, I know you love to collect, those little guys right there were collected out of a local river here when we had Fishtoberfest last year.
Wow.
And come to find out, those are native killifish to North Carolina in our waters.
Oh, my word.
They're called a banded killie.
Nice. Huh.
All right. There's my.
You're breaking up. I think I lost you.
Sorry about that, Father Fish. If I get too far in the abyss, all this water. So we'll show these guys since Kevin asked about them. This is my nice little school of exodons.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
And they seem to let me keep plants, Father Fish.
Yeah, that's looking pretty good. And that's a plant you would expect them to eat.
Now, I don't have any problem with them eating plants whatsoever.
Huh.
Now, if anybody is planning to keep these guys, the only thing I'd recommend, make sure that you get your bottom feeders before you get the exodon. Anything that is in here now, they won't mess with. They consider it part of the tank decor. Any live animal you put after that date is considered prey.
Wow. There you go.
And these guys, I've seen them take out beef heart pretty quickly. They'll eat a good chunk of beef heart in about 3 minutes.
Well, it's a little piranha.
Yeah, these are growingly probably one of my favorite fish in the fish room at the moment.
Is that right? Nice. Ray Aquatics. Verily.
There's a Smoky Pinoys.
Oh, how pretty.
That's more of Danny's thing there. Then we are getting this little colony going. To come back, you guys. Got a little bit of Nanochromis splendens in there.
Huh. That's a nice collection
Danny,
of tanks.
This is what she's been up to too. Like I said, she's been converting these plants so people will get nice plants when the time comes.
Yep.
Now this room, we'll give it a try, Father Fish, but 50-50 at best when I hit this room, when I'm mobile like this. There's some more of her plants. And then, like I said, this is what we call the newest edition.
Huh.
Now these guys, you guys know Peppermint Creek. I got these from Brian. These are to be in a 135. These are
Yeah, we lost you. Got too close in.
my back.
Yep, you're back.
We back? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's the base concrete with all this water. But those are the black devils I had to read a couple times.
Huh.
Then that,
That room's not working. Look at that. Is that a flower horn?
and I suppose I can give them an idea of what we got. I mean, this is what we refer to as the rack room.
Nice.
There's a few things. In here we got something. I can never get them on camera because they're so... But we got some vampire crabs in here.
Oh, yeah.
They breed almost weekly for us now.
Huh.
Kind of a cool little thing.
Yeah.
These are another Cara species, humpback linea.
Yeah.
So how many are we up to now, Father Fish? I can't remember how many I've had, but
I lost count.
so then this is what we refer. This is the new room. Then this is what I call the big boy room.
Huh.
And everything in here, with the exception of the 36 bow front, there's all 100+ gallons.
Well, nice.
Trying to think what we have else in here. Oh, the Fahaka. You guys probably want to see Chaka, I'm sure.
Yeah. There he is. Oh, how neat. Planted. I love it.
You know, it's goofy, Father Fish, with those plants. These giant Daniels breed in here almost weekly.
Really?
With this predator here, it cracks me up.
Huh.
Well, they call them giant hatchet. Love those guys. Those are the ones with the knife blades on them there.
Oh, yeah.
And then these are Savannah.
Right. That's such a nice fish.
And this little guy,
Iridescent shark.
I've had him for 3 years. He's got a neurological disease, and pretty much this is his life. He sits and hangs out down here, but when it's time, he comes and eats shrimp right out of my hand.
Huh.
He's a Paratilapia Marilombo as well. Believe it or not, that big one I have upstairs, that's his little brother, and he just never grew out. And there's the rainbow cichlid.
Yes.
And then that's the last Savannah Rio Candelaria I have to my name. And then Turkana Jewel, and a couple different. Then ginormous Raphael cat, just absolutely big.
Huh.
I'll take you up and show you a couple things upstairs, and we'll be good.
Nice.
And basically, y'all, we're just in this room. This is what we call the craft room. I couldn't tell you how many tanks are in here. Then this is going to be my studio in 1 year. We got the 300 right there that we're going to be putting right here.
Right.
And then all those tanks in that big boy room will be in here as well. Oh. So then if you come upstairs, this is the main living room area, and this is kind of where we keep a lot of our show pipe tanks. This is our 100-gallon. This is a 110, but this one I'm growing out these beautiful Bosemani rainbow, and these are the type that get the orange fin.
Yeah, yeah.
Then we've got Kerry blue tetras in here, and then these things are cool. These are an African banded barb.
Uh-huh.
Nice. I can get them slow down fast enough to show you guys.
That's nice driftwood in there. Do you have rock in there as well?
Yeah, it's dragonstone.
Dragonstone, okay.
And this tank we've got a ton of Coriodoras in here too. There's probably about 30 of them.
Huh.
And then this is my wife's little bowl that she has.
Cool.
And she's just doing Veretta's platies in here.
Right.
And we have some pretty good size of mono shrimp in here too, but that's just kind of her little fun thing.
Yeah, that's
And
so
in
nice.
this tank, these are my two F1 Altum Angels that they bred for me once and wasn't able to get the eggs, but
Huh.
they are just getting stunning though, very large. Again, there's my hand to give you an idea.
Oh, yeah, they do get big.
These guys were a temporary fix. We had tons of that hair algae and stuff in here, and we got a little school of these, and they knocked it out in about 3 days.
Autos. Yep, they do it.
And then behind me here is our dual 135 side by side.
Huh.
It's about 14 feet of South American pleasure.
Look at that.
But that's my pride and joy. This is my favorite fish in the house. Is this
South
parrot tilapia?
American. That's a male, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a male Madagascar Marilambo. He's a parrot
Yeah.
tilapia. But to give you an idea on him, I mean, he's a handful.
Nice. I've had those for years. I don't have any right now. Such a wonderful fish.
He is the tank boss of this tank. And looking at the bruisers that are in here,
Really?
these Viejas, my wife and I have the pair. We had to separate them. She wasn't quite ready for his
Oh, look
shenanigans
at
yet.
that. Ha. Very cool. That's an uncommon fish.
And there's the mouth of Synodontis dorcoris. He doesn't seem to want to come out. There's his little brother.
Oh, yeah.
And if you guys look out, he's out actually. That's a rare treat. There is Mr. Wolffish. Just chilling back there like a villain.
The back, yeah, sure enough. Huh.
That shows you the difference in size. And if you guys look at Mr. Oscar's lips here,
Right.
the first day I had him, he decided he was going to try to show Mr. Wolffish who's boss, and Wolffish said, I don't think so. He bit him pretty good. That's a red tiger moda, and then these are Heros lipifers. They're the only mouth-brooding Sevrum out there.
Sevrum, right? Yeah.
And then I've got the stunted manganese, or basically jag.
Yeah. Maragua.
And then this one's kind of a cool thing too. We have these are the blue lip buffalo heads.
Oh, I love them. They're pretty good size. Have you had them?
The males are. I raised these since they were fry this big.
Really? Very cool.
And somewhere in here we have some of the red tail botillas, which are really a hardy little botilla.
Yeah, right. There it is.
There they are.
Yeah, sure enough.
And then there's also a Synodontis angelicus in here.
Huh.
So that's that room. And then if you make the round to the kitchen area here, we do have them on the kitchen counter, unfortunately. But this is something special in here. These are the banded gudgeons, which are really a cool fish.
Oh, my word. Look at that. Yep. That's a Florida native.
They're such a cool fish.
Absolutely.
And these aren't your peacock gudgeon. These babies are big.
They are big. Nice.
Then we have a couple of different types of. I've got a blue phantom there, and then there's a flash pleco in here. That's the one that's up against the wall there. Don't know how well you guys can see it with the lighting, but
Got a
he's a
tail.
cool fish. Danny and I both are pretty enthralled with plecos. These are just some mountain minnows. These are least killifish. And that's our only axolotl of the home. That's Terry.
Huh.
And then this tank would keep our little pea puffers. Where are you little boogers at?
Have they spawned for you?
No.
I've
Some
never
species
thought about
I don't worry about spawning.
Yeah.
That's one that. Now in here, this is kind of this tank is real special. This one has Dicrosis ferroni in it.
Oh my. Huh.
And then these tetras are super cool. I don't know if you've kept these yet, Father Fish. They're ant tetras.
No,
They're pretty new to the hobby still.
I haven't seen them.
And then I've got a leopard frog pleco in here somewhere.
Uh-huh.
That Danny did a beautiful job on the scape of this one.
That's gorgeous. Very, very nice.
And if y'all are wondering, this is the bathroom tank.
I love it.
And then this is what Danny's converted office.
Oh my.
Now, we were supposed to be going down the tanks, and as you guys can see, she's breaking the rules, and she's already put in new stands. And it's got a bunch of new tanks. So, I mean, it did me absolutely no good getting all the power draw off of this room.
Funny.
So in here, these are some new arrivals. I picked these up at Seattle's auction the other day. But those are the Judeochromis transcripts.
Okay. Oh, look at that. Yeah, the
Cute
Julies
little
are
guys.
wonderful. I love Julies.
And then these are the multis, or little multi jellyfish.
Right. Huh.
Oh, here comes this little guy's got. Anytime I'm in this room, he comes running to me.
Look at that little Julie. Is that a marlar eye? Looks like a
They're
marlar eye.
transcript.
Oh, they are transcriptus? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Cute little
yeah.
guys.
Huh.
There's another one of them itty bitty shellies, but and then there, I guess I should go here first. These are a cool fish you don't see every day either. These are zebra Cara.
Oh wow.
These are so cool fish, man.
Wow.
Absolutely love these guys.
That's amazing.
I mean, they just look mean looking at them. I mean,
They
he just
do,
looks
don't
honoring.
Yeah, it looks like he's got fighting scars.
So that's the male there.
Wow.
And these little ones are getting jet black. She's in mating color, so she must be getting ready to lay eggs again.
How pretty.
But that's what the females do when they
Huh.
get sexually ready to go here. They turn jet
Color up.
black.
Huh.
Gorgeous. And then the barbs in there are just your plain old ruby barbs.
Right.
And down below here, what do we got that's cool in here? Big old school of Congo tetras. I'm trying to find, I got some Apisto D6s in here. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, look
Super
at that.
cool.
Huh.
These got almost like clown-like faces on them. I want to get those breeding again.
You got a pair. Is that the female?
Yeah, that little one right there is the female.
Yeah.
And then we got some daisy blue rice fish in here, some other sword tails. And of course, you got to have a beta in every tank.
Right.
Then
I do.
breeding colony of they're always spawning in here. Matter of fact, I think I see a little fry down there right now. Side of that log down there. Yeah, there is.
Pleco.
Yeah, just your plain albino bristlenose.
Bristle. Yeah. Nice.
And then right here, these are the remaining of our F1 Ultims. These ones are going to be going into a bigger tank shortly.
Oh,
I mean, they're going to have to.
that's quite a crew. They look good.
Yeah, Danny spoils these fish. These fish are, that's why they're up here right now, is they're used to eating quite a bit. But the reason she can get away with it is that she cleans this water probably 5 times a week.
Wow.
And then if you look, you can see the finnage from them. Unfortunately, not much more than that, but those are the L236RB lines.
Okay. Huh.
Usually there's at least one hanging out, and I don't see any of them today. That's the thing, you know, if you're going to own plecos,
You're
is,
going to see them a lot.
yeah, you better plan on once a year, twice a year. You might get a photo opportunity, but.
Yeah, really.
And then in here we have another pair. We have a pair of, another pair of the Nanochroma splendens.
Hmm.
And this is a proven pair. They've already bred a couple times. So this was all supposed to be temporary setups, but as you can see, there
Yeah,
aren't nothing temporary about them.
temporary about it. Wow. Goodness. Wonderful.
Show you guys these real quick. These are peppermint pike heads.
Oh, really? Oh,
Super
how
cool little
How
micro
cool.
predators.
Yeah.
That
Look
over
at
there
that.
is Danny's little planted Tetra tank.
Nice.
So that's kind of Daniken in a nutshell.
Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive.
Get back to where I can see you. You can see me. There we go.
There you are. Sure enough. Let me get back up here. Well, thank you, Kenny. It's been really fun spending some time with you.
Good Lord, we'd be going an hour and a half already?
Yeah, how about that? Just about an hour and a half. Not quite.
Wow.
Moon boots, same moon boots.
How time flies when you're having fun, right?
I know it. It's true, isn't it? Absolutely. Who else is here? Kevin. Yeah, we got everybody. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, Kenny.
It was a good time, Father Fish. Always is with you.
Yeah, you bet. Enjoy it.
I can't wait to get back and see you live.
Well, somebody was telling me if you wanted me to do a morning. I don't want to do mornings. I'm having trouble getting to sleep at night these days. I have trouble getting up in the morning.
No, I'm saying live. I want to come see you in person.
Well, I need to get out there. I've never been to California.
Oh, I'm in Oregon. You'd really love it here.
I know. I really would. Need to do it.
Right up your alley.
Absolutely. Well, I want to get up there with Alex and collect some of those sticklebacks he's catching. That's pretty impressive. I'm really excited about the sticklebacks.
Yeah, I like those as well. They're pretty cool little nice little species.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Have you ever seen them breeding?
Pardon?
Have you ever watched those breeding?
No, I never have. I had them as a kid because we caught them in the Chesapeake Bay when there were a lot of plants in the bay. That's long gone, so you can't get them there anymore. But no, I was never able to breed them.
They make this extravagant, huge nest. A friend in our club bred them.
Nice.
It was just extravagant. So.
Yeah,
well, I sure appreciate you, sir.
Well, thank you likewise, Kenny, very much. Say hi to Danny.
I sure will.
And you're coming back Friday nights, you said?
Yep, I'll be on this coming Friday at 7:30 Pacific.
Well, we'll look forward to that. 7:30
10:30 Eastern.
That's 10:30.
Back in my old slot.
Wonderful. Well, I'm on at 8:30 to 9:30, and then Lucas is on till 10:30, and then you're on. So that'll be a great evening. Meant to be.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
That'll be great. Thank you again, Kenny, very much. Appreciate
You're very welcome.
All right. Take care, everybody. I'll see you Friday night. We'll be on Friday at 8:30 with Shelby. So a good time will be had by all. And then Sunday with Mary. Bye for now. Good night, all.